Hi, how are you?
Hello, Petra. Very nice to finally meet you.
Yeah, very nice to meet you too. We finally made it.
Yeah.
Yeah. How are you doing in these times?
Um, I can't wait for the May 19th.
Really?
This is the as a sorry, I will do a little bit, make it a little bit louder. So I can as I read yesterday, this is the date when all the life will start again.
Yeah. Yeah, that's been a long year and longer than a year.
Yeah.
Where were you when the first lockdown was announced? Were you in Vienna?
Oh yeah. Actually was heading flying back to China from St. Petersburg through Istanbul back to China to Shanghai,
Mm.
and I took the first flight, St. Petersburg, Istanbul, and the second flight. The second flight never happened because everything was cancelled. I was actually in the situation what when there was no flights. There was no flights. Everything was cancelled, but somehow I managed it. That I was waiting a
Uh,
long time in Istanbul. Yeah.
So you came in Istanbul, and then suddenly did you expect something? I mean, because we heard so you didn't. So
No,
it
no,
was
no.
just like that. Yeah.
You know the one just when they announced that everything will be cancelled, no flights, no connections. Actually, I couldn't believe that something like this will happen. That it actually possible that there will be no flights, no trains, no cruise ships, no nothing, no ferries, no. That I couldn't believe.
Mm. And you at that stage were you then stuck in Istanbul? How did you get how did you get home then?
Uh, I was, although it was large number of this number of people waiting for their flights to be rebooked,
Mm.
changed, and yeah, that was very. I mean, uh, yeah, those I don't know, maybe a couple of hundred of people, and in the airport we were waiting, and finally I got my flight changed to Minsk. I get that. Yes, that was to Minsk, and that was the only option for me to not to don't stay in Istanbul.
Mm.
Yeah, and there then I was yeah, I took a taxi, and yeah,
Mm.
that was
And
it.
so were you in St. Petersburg when in the lockdown, during the lockdown?
No. That's I was in St. Petersburg right before the
Oh,
lockdown.
before that. Yeah, yeah. And where did you spend your lockdown then?
Well, I spent. Uh, there was the only option for me is to go to spend it in Ukraine,
Mm.
and that's what I did during. But well, of course, I was trying to don't lose the time, don't waste the time. We organized the that was a plan. That was original plan to organize and to run conducting masterclass and competition in Malta, which we were forced to move to Ukraine, to Kiev, because that was the only country we could do, because everything in Malta was actually cancelled.
Mm.
Yeah.
So this project that you had in China, because you were on your way to China, yeah, and that was also cancelled. What were you supposed to do there?
Oh, uh, Actually several projects. There was
Mm.
two orchestras, one in Shanghai, another one in Hangzhou, uh, which we ran. Right now, it's all on pause.
Mm.
So right, yeah, there was number of concerts we planned, some interesting educational projects.
Mm.
Everything is canceled right now. I mean, canceled as I would, I don't know, because this is not clear situation with China when it will open again, and will it open?
Mm.
Oh yeah, yeah, of course they will open, but the question when?
Yeah, and it's always very sad to hear that many projects for artists were cancelled, not just postponed but cancelled. And I know your schedules are always years ahead. You know, when you plan things. So this, you know, these things that got cancelled was probably already organized some time before.
Exactly, exactly. That's the problem that many, well, many organizations, many companies, many businessmen, they just bankrupt, as
Mm.
well as I've heard. I probably in the September or August, last August or September, there was large uh, open um, what is it, letter from French organizations to the minister of in France, and there was probably the first signal that the whole industry, the whole entire industry of music, not education, but probably in the music, classical music, all the events, uh, actually damaged, and pretty hard damaged, and it seems to get back to the same level it will take probably 8 to 10 years. So this
Mm.
is and we don't, I mean, I'm trying to be, focused in the music, but actually everything is connected, and I see that many other fields like traveling,
Mm.
hotels, the food industry. I mean, many other fields are damaged, and they actually very much connected. So I know that so for example, many musicians here in Vienna, that they leave from tourist concerts. The tourist concerts are cancelled. That's This is very hard. I mean, I know people who works, so who used to work on cruise ships. Actually, also I know that um, cruise ship companies, they lost more than nearly $3 billion or something. I'm not sure. I can be wrong, but I do know that they actually lose money every day, and they are. I've heard last week. I've heard that large companies like NCL and Caribbean, they actually going to sue CDC. This is
Yeah. But it's interesting that we see that how connected everybody is in this. You know, we realize how connected, because I was also photographing pilots, airline pilots for this project, and just because I thought, well, you know, I heard many musicians saying how they fly around the world and do their concerts in different countries, and traveling in, you know, outside Vienna. And this is what I'm also thinking about. The airline industry is also hard hit, but it's not just because of holidays. It's also because of the they bring the tourists to Vienna or to the big cities, and these tourism, like you say, many musicians are very dependent on these tourists coming to the different cities. If you just take London, for example, all those theaters there, and even Vienna, that people come specifically for the theaters. So they're all connected.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is, and I know that, for example, one position, one job in the airport demands five position for 5 jobs outside of the airport. So there's all supplies, any kind of supplies. Well, here is as well. In the one job, one musician in the theater, singer, conductor, any kind of musician. It means they have support from others. They connected to other jobs beside the theater. It's all very complicated. It's a chain, and we just take one segment of it, and the whole system actually near to to collapse.
Yeah,
That is a problem. And I see that, and I see it very clearly now, because the longer we stay on the lockdown, the longer all the people stay at home. I'm not talking about here in Vienna, but I see everywhere. I see that, actually, especially in Europe. Well, the whole Europe is quite small. It's not geographically. I mean, and so many connections, and they're all damaged.
Yeah.
I really hope the program which government provides, when they're going to run, it will help all the damaged segments and fields to recover.
But Anton, what did you do in this time to keep yourself motivated? Did you do online classes, or how did you keep yourself motivated?
No, to be honest, I don't believe in online teaching, instrument teaching, singing, teaching, conducting. It's all, I don't believe in it. But what did I do? I was writing my PhD dissertation, the articles, academic writings. I was organizing the masterclass and competition. I was doing these kind of things, and I was planning something for the future. This is the only way. This is the only way to to keep yourself in tonus.
Yeah, and I talk to artists a lot about education as well, the education system, and how we can use this time, for example, to rethink the education system. Do you think we should start really talking about how children are educated in schools, and to make art more available, so that the importance of art for this time, we're talking about health and physical health, but also mental health, but that we give the next generations this the value of art and the development in children.
Well, this is one of my favorite topics. I can
Oh wow, wonderful.
hours for hours.
Okay.
This is actually very much connected to my PhD research. And all right, Definitely, there's no without question, any questions. The art is very much important. Unfortunately, okay, I will split for a couple of maybe sections.
Yeah,
First,
yeah.
I do think that all entire education system is not actual anymore. I mean, it's old. It's too. It's not relevant to the modern time.
Mm.
The courses, um, the subjects, the time, many things are. It's from 19th century. It's not even from 20th century. From 19th century. Even it goes from that time, and it's the time has been changed. So I do think that specialists, all the masters, all the bachelors, PhD, and the doctors, it's I would say, to make long story short, it doesn't prepare for the real life. No, I'm not talking about. I'm not talking about only the musical education. I'm at the school as well. Now, getting back to importance of the musical education. Yes, we all say that there's an expression that music is the universal language. This is, of course, this is for sure, and I would say that this is one of the oldest and the most. This is something beyond even the language, like the verbal language we use to communicate, we used to think. It's what linguistics study. But this is all the music. The music operates with some images, very much with emotions, and those emotions are this is very old, rare layer of our mentality, of our consciousness. So that this is very important. This is the basis of our emotional and psychological health. So this, I do believe that it's mandatory to do, especially now with the lifetime, the life speed, the tempo is very fast. It's very competitive. The more people, and it actually accelerates and becomes more aggressive, I would say, the life.
Yeah.
So this is mandatory, for my opinion. This is mandatory for all the children, all the students in the school to learn something about music.
Yeah, I think, you know, there's even there's a marketer and a writer in America, Seth Godin, and he talks about this, that the school system is based on the industrial, you know, the needs of the industrial era, and that we've moved actually beyond that now. And I'm thinking really about also the health aspect, but also while I was photographing the artists in their windows, this is what I realized actually is what wonderful, not just the musicians, but also the dancers and you know, what wonderful life skills you learn by, say, learning an instrument or learning to dance, or, you know, any form of art brings with it these skills like, you know, self-motivation, perseverance, the way you think, the way artists think, you know, the way they solve problems, and this determination, even in this time where it is, you know, difficult times, that it's sort of as if they can get on with it, or they have something to build on and to rethink. And I think that this, if we could give children, even if they don't become musicians, like you say, you know, that it's fundamental for them, for their development, for how they live life and how they go into other careers then as well.
Yeah, I do agree, and I would add that this is also a question of kind of integrity, the person, the psychological integrity and the personal integrity, and I would add that very important aspect of it is of music education in school or kindergarten is empathy. The people I've seen many. I was teaching a lot, and I've seen many people who actually could not feel somebody's emotions or feelings, and they could easily hurt somebody just because they don't have this kind of ability. So I do believe any kind of art, this is the best, and the earlier they start to learn that, the better it is. Yeah, I think I don't want to bring this line, to develop this line, how important and how that will influence the I don't know, maybe I'm not sure, maybe I'm not. I don't want to be negative, but I think these kind of people who actually cannot feel somebody else, the feelings or emotions or these kind of things, they this is the shortest way for to crime. I'm maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm saying something, but
I think I think there are many lines we can draw to many things. That it might not mean that we have a life without crime, but it might mean that we have less crime, or that we have less acceptance of each other. And you find that in orchestras, in ballet companies, where people work together as artists, there's some sort of tolerance between them as well, even if it's different cultures. And it's this brings this focus, I think, also doing something that's valuable or something that's worthwhile. And I do think artists have the ability to give, because of the fact that you do the art, and the fact that you have all these sacrifices that you go through to be able to present the art. Like if you think a singer or musicians, what they go through just to be able to perform, or just to be able to give something this wonderful to an audience. And I think that even if everybody can have a small, or experience a small part of it, where you give something that is very selfless, if you can teach children this thing where you work so hard to do some kind of performance, and you don't expect anything in return, you just expect to be giving it. I'm not talking about a financial aspect, I'm talking about in an audience, that you that the biggest part actually for artists is this giving part.
Right. Yeah. And what you say is actually one of the statements. What the love is.
Yeah.
Is it something? Is an ability to give without any expected reward. Yeah. So just exactly. I do agree. This is probably one of the best ways to learn it. And also this is playing in orchestra, in a band, performing, not just it's not about performance, not only about performance, but to make music, to make art, to make to dance together, to do, I don't know, this jazz session or a jam session, whatever. It's all about communication. It's about cooperation. It's about working together. It's about bringing your part in, I mean, into the pot. Like this is all about doing something together.
Yeah, and I think if you see the connection between the different subjects, this will also mean that children who do art will excel in subjects like maths and science, for example, because they are all linked in a way, you know. And
yeah, I think it's I'm not sure if I say it correctly in English. The neurologists, they end together with linguistics and the scientists who actually studies the linguistic. They all say that making art, creating something, this is a very special modes of our brain, of our consciousness work. And most of the time in the current education system, I'm talking about school now. The problem, I mean, there's a stereotype that mathematics it's the key for it's a language of the universe, but apparently this is just one side of it, and we this is logical, very much structured, but there's huge part is missing in this world picture, let's say that way. And this is art. Another part is for this is art actually creating something. And what I wasn't willing to I was going to say, sorry, I missed the
no, that's fine.
Anyways, I was about to say that for example, we all have these IQ tests. IQ tests, they all are based on several skills. The same skill, they analyze and they very much related to the mathematics. So they actually miss another part, but like many scientists, they say, neither Mozart nor Beethoven or Bach, they would never pass the IQ test well, because this is completely different mode for our consciousness. And as well, as we said before, as you said actually before, this is the mode when we create, we learn how to feel each other, we learn how to respect each other, we learn how to appreciate somebody's work, somebody's I don't know, creation, somebody's artwork, and to love, how to love. And this is very extremely important, especially at this time. Well, maybe not at this time, but it's very important.
But I'm hoping that we we can see, because the spotlight is very much also on the fact that the arts are damaged, or you know, that the fact that the theaters were closed for so long, that maybe we can highlight, or the fact that arts are highlighted, that we can maybe use this opportunities to say, well, isn't it so important that in this time of lockdown, what did people do? They all reverted to some form of art, even if they didn't, you know, if they listened to music, or they themselves started doing things. You know, you hear of people being stuck at home, started, you know, baking or painting, or not just artists, all, you know, people from all walks of life, from all careers. And that this is so important. This is our outlet almost. This is our creative. The moment we are in this situation, we all started to create. And this says that we are all creative creatures, really, you know. It's not that we have that in us to do. And we might not be, you know, talented musicians, but at some point people listened to music, or you know, did something.
I would like to say that to create, it's actually one of our fundamental needs. And we all know the example for examples from what is called archaeology and anthropology. The people we have, our kind, started to create some beautiful things in very, very early stage of our evolution, or but I'm not. I don't have to. I don't want to be negative, but what I see is from the. I don't see very much support from the government. I'm not talking about Austria. I'm talking about, you know, like globally. It seems like all the governments, they take art as something second important thing. But I think this is the most the biggest mistake. This is way to nowhere. This is way to nowhere. This is all connected to morality, to the standards, moral standards, connected to philosophy of life. It's connected to a lifestyle. If I think this is very much important. Of course, another, like financial stability, banks, industry. This is very much important. No questions. But you know, to underestimate the art. This is big mistake. I do believe it.
Yeah, I think if it could be possible that every school in the world, or every child in the world, could have at least the first 6 years of their school career be taught an art subject, or art and different aspects of art, so that they then can decide if they want to become artists, or if they want to become whatever they choose to become, but that they have that option, and that they have those developmental skills. Because everywhere in the world, it's like you say, there are first of all, there are schools where the criteria is children have to be good in maths, or they have to have high marks in maths, or and languages. So art is completely excluded there. And then there are many children in the world that don't have access to musical instruments or to some form of education of the arts. And if we could just have that, if we could just think that that is possible, that schools could provide that, then there would be so many teachers, you know, studying art also, and you know, teaching art. And I can see it can be a very positive thing anyway for every society.
I think what you say is that would be just wonderful to have these, but I see some from what I see, we have now society. I mean, I'm not talking about as well the global, the global picture, right? We have pretty much society of consumers, I would say. We consume video content, we consume everything. I mean, everything must be bright, everything must be, you know, like talking directly to us, like buy, order. I don't know, that these kind of things. And unfortunately, I see it very much connected to the problem of understanding art. I see this, for example, I see every time I go to YouTube, every time I go to watch something there, I see advertisements, for example, a simple piano or some application of playing guitar. Yeah, of course, yes, that's perfect if it works for somebody. But what I see, it's in another side of this. Yeah, it's great. People will play. People will learn how to play. They learn how to do this, and maybe they will go for a jam session. They will enjoy. They will appreciate. But I see this. How would I say that? I would say that, and I've seen from many kids. They start to underestimate the art in general.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
This is you know, the other side of this tendency, what we have right today. And I see, and not just a second. I want to say that the tendency to simplify content, actually it damages the art. I mean, because sometimes you have to think twice, or I don't know, 4 times to understand something. And I see when many kids all around the world, I've seen it here, I've seen it in Ukraine, in Russia, in China, I've seen it in US. They actually don't want to make it, you know, to have any effort to understand. So it's if they don't understand it right away from the first second, they just quit. Okay, that's too complicated. This is not for me.
Yeah.
This is, I think this is a question. This is a it all comes from the consumers culture society. I'm not. I hope I'm not too negative.
No,
but it's a problem, I think.
Yeah, but this is this is also part of why I think it's so important that children should learn to play an instrument the right way, because this will make them understand, you know, that it's not just picking up a violin and 2 weeks later you play it. I mean, you start with holding the violin and do all these steps, and it's year after year after year of practicing and or daily practicing, and that you know how that progress. And I think that is what we are missing in these times, because it's all so instant. You know, they play computer games, and I'm still stuck in Farmville, because my children used to play Farmville on Facebook. I don't even know if it existed, but Farmville, yeah. Then you,
okay.
then you plant something today and tomorrow you harvest it. And I remember I realized that, you know, children don't learn if you don't take them in the gerden and actually let them plant a seed and see that it takes, you know, weeks for the seed to germinate and to grow. They don't. We have to teach them this, and we have to make them aware, because everything happens to instantly. And like you say, you know, if it doesn't happen immediately, then the attention is away from it. But here I want to raise another point, and this is that this idea of the artist doing something, and I know you all aim to do it as perfect as possible, and the pressure is also there on a professional level to have it as perfect as possible. But I sort of have this idea, because when I photographed artists and I started talking, and like also when I talk to artists on Zoom, and you hear the stories and you hear the path that they went through to become the artists, it's always so interesting as well. And I wonder if people's perception of the art is that it's all glamorous, you know, and you just arrive at the theater and do this, you know, do the sing or play the violin. And, you know, yet even I mean, I don't know that much about music, but I've been to the opera and I've seen ballets and so on. But I didn't myself realize that some of the operas, for example, some of the roles takes a year of studying to do this one specific role. And, you know, I wonder in the general, and I'm general public, I wonder in general if people realize this, you know, and realize that a concert for a concert pianist, how many years it takes to study, and for opera singers, how many years it takes for them to study, you know. And I wonder if artists should not also start talking about this, and also talking more about the art form, you know, and what is it, what this specific piece of music tells or brings. And so a way of educating by communicating this to the audience, not just on the night of the concert, but say on social media, for example, because social media is a very wonderful tool for that type of thing.
You actually brought very deep topic. I think I would start that from the social media. It's a perfect tool. It is perfect tool, but the question is how to use it, because right now I see that for example, to have some, I mean, large, okay, you have to have, in ideal world, to spread some ideas, you have to have a large number of subscribers and followers, right? But to have them, to get them, you have to provide some content that they actually like. And again, we to make them subscribe to your channel, you have to provide some I don't know, the picture of glamorous life as a I don't know, singer or violinist or an artist. Yeah, but again, this is pretty much different from the goal, right? If you want to teach them how to appreciate it and how to understand, which actually equal appreciate and understand, this is very much different from what kind of content we produce to get them subscribed to you. I see I'm a follower of one channel. It's called well, I cannot translate it right away into English, but this is YouTube channel, and there's a opera critic. He talked about all the opera shows. He used to talk about all the operas, new operas and theaters and the performances in all the Europe. I'm talking about the very, very important ones, like I don't know, the Salzburg theater and all around Europe, right, including Russia, because he's from Russia. And I see the number of his subscribers. This is it's very much low. That's very low, because he's talking about something you have to think twice. Even I mean, even for me, sometimes I need to clarify what I mean, to scroll back, and I need to rethink things twice, to think twice what he's talking about. So I think, yes, this is very good tool, but this is a very much related to another question. Again, we're getting back to music education in the kindergarten. I do believe it must start in kindergarten. This is this is the age, the most sensitive age, when we digest everything, and we actually build the personality, pretty much, right? So I think this is the age we must be must focus on. But the question is how to do it. I mean, the education system. This is the question, because I don't see anything in the that stage education, anything right. I don't see it right now.
But I believe if we all start talking about it and thinking about this, it is like planting a seed, and it will, it will bring something. But it's like there are many things, but the one thing that always stands out for me is the two Wright brothers who invented flying. They had a business, a printing business, and then they started building bicycles. And from building bicycles, they actually understood the balance of the wings of an airplane, and that through many years of experimenting, that they could actually fly. And I think they only stayed in the air. The first flight was only about 53 seconds or something like that. It wasn't a 2-hour flight.
Even less, I guess. That was less, yeah.
But it started somewhere, it started, if you can think about it, it started in a bicycle shop. So I'm thinking that we should just not dismiss it and say it is possible. If it's possible, I believe if it's possible to have a science block in the school, it's possible to have a music block in a school. And you don't have to have an instrument. You can teach children to sing. You can start with singing. Singing is the basic, like you say, it's a basic form of music. Yet schools, I don't know how many singing, even singing time is in schools, and we should really encourage children and families to start singing again.
I do believe, I do agree with you. I do, I see I see the tendency right now, very promising tendency. I see that in last maybe 10, maybe less. Yeah, no, more than 10 years. It's very, there's a large, huge shift happened in the society. What was cool, for example, in 90s, and what is cool right now? Now is cool to make sport, to be healthy, to be actually smart. This is, and what we had before, the beer, cigarettes, I don't know. Maybe I'm saying nonsense, but I do believe, I do remember it from my when I was very, let's say, very, very young. Yeah, it's different now. And I see you go out, I see many young people, they go for jogging, they do sport, they read a lot. This is very good tendency, and this is very promising tendency. But I think first it might, I hope it will, in some years, it will switch to next stage. We go to the next stage when we actually, what we're talking about, the stage when people will start to appreciate. But I see one problem here. As always, I don't want to be negative, but I want to be, to predict some problems. I see that the government, any kind of government, all the governments in the world, they're years behind the actual society and the actual moods in the society, or of the people. So and any country is quite a large system, which is very hard to modify, to adapt it for the current time, current life. I see it. This is could be a problem, but I really hope for what you say. Yes, we must talk about this. We must spread the information. We should organize some events. We should spread this idea, but we should work with different ages. We must talk to parents. We must talk to organize some events, educational events for kids, for young people, for teenager, for very, very, very aged persons, because it's all connected. We all are very much connected. So we must spread.
Well, Anton, I'm naive enough to believe it can happen.
Me too. But because I'm just talking about this.
I live on cloud 9, so I believe everything is possible. So that will happen. Yeah.
I do believe, and I will tell you a story. I've been okay. We have a project when okay, I start from the beginning. We organized a composers competition, and the goal of this composer competition is to take this music and bring into the concert halls. And it's not just these. we want to we want to, you know, increase the interest for the contemporary music, because we see, as you see, when we go to the concert hall, we see that most of the time the orchestras, they play, I'm talking about orchestra music, we hear classical, baroque, and romantic music. Sometimes you can hear something from 20th century, but if we're talking about 21st century music, most of the time it's not performed.
Yeah.
So, and I see the problem. The problem is that contemporary music is, you know, it's very much apart from the current life. The people, most of the people, they just don't understand the language of this music. So we want to take, you know, we want to collect the music, you know, using the competition. We want to collect the music which the most understandable for the wide mass of people, the crowd, the audience. I mean, crowd was probably bad word. I mean the audience.
Yeah, the audience.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
English is not my first language. So
No, your English.
sometimes I say stupid things. So that's yeah. This is what we want to do, and I know this is very ambitious. Sorry, I will switch it off. This is ambitious plan, and this is ambitious project. And when I was talking to the jury members, some jury members of our competition, he said literally, you know, Anton, the time of Verdi, when people were writing Viva Verdi, or they were crazy about his music, it's gone. But I like that you make an effort, and you live in you said that I live in clouds as well. So yeah, I do understand. I do agree with you. We must try to do this. We must do this.
Talking from the clouds, there are many people who started off in the clouds, and then, you know, they created something, or it has to, you know, you have to be the dreamer to be able to do something, isn't it? Yeah.
Exactly.
Here
But
we
I do
are
believe...
on Zoom. Here we are talking on Zoom. That must have been somebody whose head was in the cloud, who thought there will be one day where we talk to each other sitting in front of our computers, you know? And
right.
so,
yeah,
here we are doing it. Yeah.
Right. This is exactly. But I would add, we need all the, how did I say in English, tool set. We have to use the whole tool set. This is, as I like Elon Musk. He's a great businessman. He's a dreamer. Well, we are dreamers, right? But he's a dreamer / businessman, and I think that's what we need to you know, to make it happen. It's I mean we have to use social media in the right way. We have to have offline events. We have to have these kind of education, I don't know, school. We have schools, right, programs in the kindergarten. All this stage, education on education system on every stage must be modified, has to be changed, must be changed. And also we have to spread this idea to the government. That's and in this point we have to unite.
Mm.
So shall we do something? Let's
Yes,
organize it.
definitely, yeah.
Some kind of union. I don't know. Some kind of I don't know. Big union of people who wants to change, to make to make changes.
Yeah, I photographed 510 artists in their windows, so we've got a few people to come with in this project, I'm sure.
Great, great. So let's do it.
That would be great. But Anton, I would like to ask you, what did you do? And this is on a lighter note now. What did you do during lockdown? Apart from your studying, apart from music, did you do anything else as a hobby that you never have time for?
Yeah, actually, I composed because I never had enough time to do this, and the more I spend time for this, the more I appreciated the gifts of all the composers, all the people who creates the music, who creates I don't know, who paints. Actually, this is I'll also tried to do, and I'm terrible in it. Just no. Okay. But the funny thing is, my father, my grandfather, and my great grandfather, they paint, and they paint pretty well. Yeah, but I'm just, no, I don't have this kind of ability. I'm terrible. I was trying to follow some YouTube lessons. I was trying to use some applications. No, doesn't work. Doesn't work on me.
Okay.
What else? What else did I do? I read a lot. I really, that was great time. I that unfortunately we have everything in our life. We have like circles, like cycles. Yeah. That was I spent several months of reading, and there was this, we have this kind of hunger for new information, for new knowledge, and I was that was
reading a lot.
Very enjoyable time. What else did I do?
Do you cook?
All right. Yeah. Okay. Yes, I do cook. I cook. I love to cook, but I don't like to cook like constantly to satisfy like my what is it called, basic needs, right? We have to eat every day. No, I like to cook, but when you obligated to do so, that it's not enjoyable anymore.
Yeah, no, I understand that. Yeah.
No, I like sport. I like jogging. I like yoga. I do it, but right, sometimes it's very hard to find a moment to do so. But yeah, and I really, actually, this is a good combination of to keep your body in good shape, and your mental state, your mental health, combine sport and art. That's perfect.
Do you think this?
And sorry, can I say, actually, another thing, I was willing to do so, to do it for years. I spent some time learning about business, about how it works, all these structures, you know, how the accounting. That was very interesting. This is just another dimension.
Yeah,
Very
but
way.
somebody actually, a few artists also mentioned this to me, that, you know, it's very important for an artist to understand this business side of things, because I think, you know, you focus so much on the art that you know, that you forget that that part is also, you know, part of the business side of being an artist.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. This is exactly what I meant when I said that the current education system, especially when we're talking about professional education, it doesn't prepare students for the real life.
Yeah,
you can be amazingly good in playing violin, but I know I can give you many examples when genius violinist or a musician or piano player, they don't achieve what they deserve to achieve, just because they don't know how to present themselves, how to I don't like say, I hate this the phrase to sell yourself. This is nothing about, this is nothing about art, this is about market. But right, we know now, in nowadays, we have to learn something about it. For example, Bernstein. This is a perfect example. Bernstein, he was very successful conductor and composer, but do you know how he escaped? I mean, he had contract with Columbia Artist Management. I hope I'm right. I mean, I might be wrong, but he one of the, you know, he's not the only one who actually brought the contract and with this company, which were very good with holding the keeping the artists. He created his own company, and this was his way to, you know, to become who he was. So I do believe, maybe I can bring you another, the Handel or Haydn. This is another examples. They were genius composers, but they actually was very good in with this kind of part of the music, you know. They were selling and yeah, that's important. This is very important, especially now when most of the audience, most of the society, they lose the interest for the classical music, for the art. So we need to, you know, we have to be good and inventive with branding, with PR. So this is, and the last thing I would say now, because I talk too much. I see another problem. We all artists, we are very much apart. Very much apart. Everybody complains that, oh, this lockdown is something. I mean, it's killing us. It's killing the whole industry. But I don't see something, you know, happens, like nobody unites. Nobody wants to collaborate to do something big, to stand up all together and say, guys, no, this is wrong way. No, you have to do something with that. I've seen I spent especially on lockdown, there was had some periods when I had much free time. I didn't see in that social media, I didn't see anything from what I say right now. I seen something, you know, one orchestra did that to show how important, like they performed, the orchestra performed Cage 433 piece when everybody, you know, that's all the silence. So this was very, yeah, that was perfect. That was amazing. That was very significantly important performance to show this was simple. But I don't see, for example, in one country, all the concert halls, orchestras say, okay, why do you allow trains, public transportation? For trains, people stay there all together for hours in much smaller space. They have no room. They sit, you know, one by one. Planes, they've plane from New York to I don't know, Frankfurt, 6 or 8 or 9 hours. This is okay, but this is not okay for people stay in a concert hall. Okay, let's say 50. They cut 50% of the you know, the chairs. Okay, all right, but you actually kill the whole history. Yeah, it's all about history, because, but yeah, I don't understand it. I don't agree with that. I think this is very wrong. This is not okay to allow one industry to run to actually exist, and another one just to, you know, just completely ignore that. And again, we I don't see any orchestras, any huge, very much respected in the world and globally organizations like State Opera, Musikverein, I don't know, Berlin Philharmonic, Munich. I mean, globally. For example, in US, this is horrible. What happened in US? In New York, we lost. When I say we, I mean humanity. We lost orchestra of the Metropolitan Opera. This is horrible. People just, you know, they come back to their hometowns. They don't have money to live in New York. So I don't know. This is horrible, and nothing, and I see the silence. So well, actually, I also didn't do anything to, you know, but I don't have this kind of power. But what I mean, people, the seniority from general manager, I don't know, from of those organizations, the leaders of the industry, they must do something. And I do believe if they say, if one of them say, hey guys, let's go, we have to do this now, because this is too late. We no, this goes too far. We need to do something. I'm sure that if they will, one of those leaders, they say, stand up and say, guys, let's go. I'm sure that most of the people, musicians, they will support, they will they follow, I will go for sure. I will go. I stand up and I will go with them, and I say, yeah, you protests or whatever, or any way, but it must be something. Okay.
Yeah. No, I understand what you mean.
No revolution.
I spoke to many artists in America as well, and I think there it's because the state doesn't fund any orchestras, you know, or all the orchestras are privately funded.
Correct.
America,
Correct.
the system is a bit different, I think, than in Europe.
Right. I know the Metropolitan Opera is a private company, right? But this is actually a national treasure from of the US.
Yeah, yeah.
For America, yeah. There's nothing could be compared to. I mean, in US, in both North and South America, there's nothing to be compared to Metropolitan Opera.
Yeah.
And they actually, if they won't get the same orchestra back, which actually James Levine, I don't know. Yeah, he actually. This is all his achievement in pretty much. I don't know that the name of I mean the Metropolitan Opera will become something like I don't know, in some village orchestra. I mean, if this is very serious thing actually, because that was it could be the Metropolitan Opera could be compared to, I don't know, La Scala, Grand Opera, or State Opera here in Vienna. But if they lose the orchestra, no, singers. I mean, orchestra is very important. This is a big problem, right? Here in Europe it's much better, and I'm glad that they do support, the government does support the this kind of organizations.
Yeah, no, definitely.
But yeah, please, I'm talking too much.
No, that's very interesting what you're talking about. But tell me, Anton, what is your wish for when this is all over?
Say it again, please.
What is your wish for when this is all over?
Well, speaking globally, of course, I want the number of concerts and generally speaking, all the industries of classical music, tourism, and everything else. We just cannot say now. It will get back to the same level it was before, but this is, I know that will take years to get it back. It's probably well, depending on the field, on the industry, will take years. I know, for example, the flights, it dropped down to the level right now. Yeah. Right now it's on the level on the 89. It's dropped down for like 30 years before, like even more, like 32 years ago, right? Unfortunately, it will take years. So I want, my wish, what do I want? I want it will get back soon. And of course, I want, my deepest wish is the humanity will turn turn to the pay more attention for the art? Is it because, not because I'm artist, because I know how important the art is, and when I mean it for this is what the art of one of our the most fundamental needs. This is why we, as I said before, we have the we have proofs from anthropology, from archaeology, sorry. We have it from all kinds of science, which actually operates with facts. So I think this is my saying globally. This is my wish, the most desirable wish to. But I have so many wishes, smaller. I do want to do to run the projects. I want to develop more as a conductor, as a musician, and that's of course more selfish. I would say selfish wishes.
You may have selfish wishes as well.
Right. But can I ask you what is your wish when it's all comes back, when the lockdown is over?
Well, my whole lockdown I spent really on this project. So I started in April 2020 with this project, and my mind has been just thinking and working on it since now. And now since February, I've been doing these interviews. So for me, my wish is that this project could change, not because of me, but because of the artists, because I've seen all the artists, I've talked to many artists in Vienna and also now across the world. And for artists, my wish is that there is a greater appreciation for art, and that there is a possibility that, as I say, the education system can be changed, or even if just the pictures of the artists in their windows could make people aware that the artists live in Vienna between us, everywhere in Vienna where I went, they were artists, and it's so part of this society and so part of Vienna, and I think it's representative of every place in the world, every country in the world. And I think if you think of it that way, we think you were all children got to be exposed to music in a way, and got the opportunity and got the teacher. And for me, I see that as very lucky that it happened that way, But I also know that there are many children in, say, smaller cities or in bigger cities, but they were just not exposed, or the parents just not had the money to pay for music lessons. And I think in the world, there are many people who could have been, they didn't have to be musicians to perform on the Vienna State Opera stage, but they could have been a music teacher, or they could have been just a happier person because of the fact that they could have either danced or played music, or maybe write books, or painted, or something like that. So I see this really as symbolic to all the cities in the world, that there are so many artists that need to be seen and heard and inspire, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it for sure. Yeah, absolutely. I think we need most of the artists, they are ready. They are ready. What
Mm.
what we need? We need I don't know. We need maybe some impulse. We need some leader. We need somebody who
Mm.
stands up and says, all right, guys, we need now unite, and we go to the government, and let's try in, for example, let's take one school and one kindergarten. Let's say let's do this into there, and let's say we have statistics, we have the process, we can watch the how does it go,
Mm.
and we see the progress. For
Yeah.
example, let's say 10 years.
Mm.
Yeah, it might be a good idea to start it. That would be nice.
I think we need. I honestly think it will be like throwing a stone in the water, and the one ripple will have a ripple effect. And I think we have to start. And I think Vienna is the best place to start because it's a city of music, and um, artists come from all over the world to Vienna. We've got the best music university rated now in the world. It's the best place to start, to make an example, to say there's one school that we change this system, and that we say every single child in this school either can have the exposure to, they don't all have to become dancers, but they can all move. You cannot tell me that a 5-6-year-old child cannot enjoy dance, or benefit from dance, and just get a chance. I mean, if I take, for example, my children, I'm not a musician, I'm not a dancer. I grew up in an industrial town, and I played a little bit of piano, but there wasn't the opportunities really there. But what I said was, they have to do a sport, they have to dance, and they have to do play an instrument. They could choose which sport they wanted to do and which instrument they wanted to play, but I provided those opportunities for them. And they could experience all, and they could have the possibility of doing everything, and choose what they wanted to do. And I think if you just give children the opportunity, it doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be the experience of saying, well, I mean, I think instruments are something that I don't think everybody likes. I think musicians are drawn to the sound of the instrument, isn't it? Some musicians would say it was the sound of the flute or the sound of the violin that attracted me, but it doesn't matter. Even if they learn about the music, or learn to appreciate the music, or just attempt to play, the instrument, I think that's and I don't think it's impossible to do. And as I say, if a school can't afford the instruments, at least let the children sing, and learn music through singing and hearing music. But I do think it's a matter of one school starting to do it, and other
Right.
schools
Yeah.
and seeing the success, and because the science has been done already, the experiments have been done already. It's proven that music has an effect on the brain, on brain development. So it's not as if we have to prove it now. It's already been proven. It's just that it has to be implemented. That's the thing. Yeah,
Exactly. And as I said before, I just want to add this. What what I've seen in schools and kindergartens, yes, I mean, it's available. You can do it. This is, it depends. Okay, the achieving the goal when kids first, we want to focus on them. We'll appreciate the art. It means it must be, the message must be, this is art. Now they do, it's like, oh, this is art, you can do it.
Yeah.
So whatever you do, you draw, this is art. No, sorry, no, it's not art. We have to clarify what art is. Either is the highest level of the I don't know what, performance, ability or talent, when you developed for years, you reached certain level of it. Either or it's like everybody now. I mean, I see this tendency. The people think whatever they draw, this is art. So, but I totally disagree with that. And the same for the music. It's, you know, how do you say it in English? The valuability? No, probably it doesn't. No. I mean, yeah, how much it's valuable. They just, you know, it decreases.
Yeah.
In the way I understand why they do that. The goal of it is to make them understand you can do it. Nothing is impossible for you, right? But this is very good thing. I do agree. Everybody must have chance, and everybody can achieve something. But people need to understand that okay, this is what we do now is something basic.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But there is somebody in some people, great artists, they live in Olympus, right? But yeah, to go to them, you have to work every day. But okay,
this is what will happen. What I see it. I see introduce, so on a say in kindergarten and in the lower school, in from young age, you know, you start teaching, and it's very basic, but it's teaching the art and exposing them to the art. But then the children who have the interest in studying art and studying an instrument will go on to study it. And the children who are not interested or don't have the feeling to do it, they will understand, because then they will know, okay, to become a musician, you will have to spend all these hours. And this will be the audience that then appreciate it, because they have made the choice and say, well, I wouldn't do it. Because if you think of it now, say, for instance, a scientist, we all know what it entails to become a scientist. We know you have to go and study. We know you have to really, you know, spend hours and hours in a laboratory. We know that, even though we are not scientists, even though we've done only science in a very elementary, compared to what scientists are doing, and in the laboratories that they work. In school, we have done just very basic science, yet we understand and we have respect for the scientists, and we have respect for the doctors, because we know they had to study. And this will happen the same in art. Even though children will just have the basic exposure to art and maybe the basic knowledge of art, this would then, you know, bring the understanding and it bring the appreciation. And I do think if children listen to, say, classical music and composers and get the chance to do basic composing and things like that, they will have that understanding that what it takes to become a composer or to really compose something that is, because you will get the appreciation for it, you know. I think it's a matter of the exposure. And I do think, I know there are many artists talk about outreach programs, you know, that they visit a school once in a year or so, but that's not enough. I think for music appreciation, you have to have it every single day. You have to study it. You have to have exams on it. You know, there has to be some sort of pressure, not just, oh, we're doing it as a half an hour, just singing in the class and clapping hands, and, you know, it really has to be a study. And from that study, from that knowledge, there will come this appreciation for it. So, yeah.
Because actually we are very, I mean, in this, we have this, I mean, our consciousness, I would say, have this very simple feature. We love what we already know. And that means to love, to appreciate, and we appreciate what you already know, to make people or audience or kids love and appreciate classical music or art. I mean, I'm always, you know, I'm always trying to bring it into the classical music, but to appreciate art, that means they have to know it. They must be surrounded by the art. By the art, they have to try. They have to watch. I want to give you an example. I was some years ago. I was teaching music appreciation lessons in China. What I've seen that was very interesting example, because what I've seen is kids from, I think there was like 7 or 8 years old. They were you know, tabula rasa. They knew almost nothing about classical music. But what I've seen as well, I've seen that they had very much different way to express emotions. So that's why, and of course, that was very hard for them to understand some, you know, some performance. They do faces. That was very hard for them to understand why, for example, Gergiev or why some conductors or musicians, why do they make this face? Why do they have that face? You know what? I've seen the progress. From very beginning, they were laughing, and that was funny for them, because they didn't understand why and what is going on. They what they saw is just a face. But maybe, in the end of the year, I show them the video, and I've seen the huge difference. Of course, not everybody, but because of class, there are up to 50 or 60 people with kids. I mean, large, very large number. But I've seen the percentage of kids who was actually involved into the what is going on there, the performance, the music, or for example, I've shown. Of course, I didn't show them on that stage opera, but I showed them ballet, and the percentage of kids involved into the process, into the action, was pretty high. Maybe, of course, some of them, 10-15% was out of that. They just was, no, not yet, I would say. But yes, I've seen huge progress, and I based on that knowledge, based on that experience, I can say yes, I totally agree, 100%, 200%. I agree with you. It must be integrated in the education system from very early age.
Because I think the moment we say we make art or music a side subject or an afternoon subject, this is the message that we give children. We say, this is not as important as your school subject, so you can do it after school, or you can do it half an hour in the week. And the moment we say this is such an important subject that every day you have to spend the same amount of time that you do maths and science, you have to spend on art, then the parents will also understand the value of it, you know, because they know that these children have to study it and they have to pass these exams and they have to. So I think the more we see, the more we send this message to children that art is just entertainment, the more art would be seen as entertainment. And the moment something happens in the world where people have to choose what is the most important thing, the entertainment will be the first thing to go, because the other things will need the attention. And I do think that art has a more, not just a emotional, psychological value, but also a physical value for us and for health and for our well-being, you know. So we need to really, we need to make people understand that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, I do agree. And when I just see, for the first time, I've seen what you're doing, and I just got to know what you're doing, about your project. I think this is a great idea, and I'm happy to be part of it, and I'm happy to to have this conversation with you, and I for 100% I want to do something with that, and if they will have a chance, to go further, to be part of it, of this stream, to to organize something. I am happy. I'm here.
Wonderful.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
very much. Yeah, I would,
that's
because I think I think the pictures in the window, it's nothing is how can I say, the idea behind it is that we can start a conversation without having a protest. We can start a conversation, and I believe in the law of retaliation, and I think the moment you start, and if you send something out with love, you will receive back with love. And I think all these artists who took part, and even now with you take part in these Zoom interviews as well, it's a starting point. It's a point where we can say, okay, look at these pictures in the window, look at these artists. I didn't edit anything on these pictures. I didn't edit anything on the buildings. If there's a hole in the wall, if nothing, I left it as it is, because it's real. I want to keep it as real as possible. And these interviews also, this is why I'm saying there's no right or wrong. This is real. This is a platform. This is where an artist can say, this is how I feel. This is what I experienced. And I think this is important to also, even in future, to listen to what are these artists saying, everybody says something different. The dancer says something different, and the conductors, the musicians, they all talk. But we have to start listening, and this is a way, I think, of speaking in and the setting is, I try to keep it everything as natural as possible, because it's real. You know, you are real people doing this as a also, yeah, of course, it's your income and it's your lives. But I think the biggest part of it is the biggest part of giving art is a matter of love, you know, love for what you do and presenting it in that way. So so I hope that is the message that the whole project would send out, you know.
Yeah, I would like to say that pictures of us, all those pictures are very symbolic, very much. That's great, just greatly represents the lockdown, and all the musicians are waiting actually to the lockdown is over, to get back to what to the, you know, to their job, to what they do, what they are. That's brilliant idea, just amazing idea.
And you know what's so interesting is I haven't asked one person to smile, not one person. I literally, we talked, and then I would go and stand in front of the window on the street. I've never asked anybody to smile, yet they all smile. And there were people criticizing me for this, that they smile, and it wasn't me who made them smile. They just smiled. And this was also something that I found extremely interesting, and this is why I'm writing about this, is that the artists can make the switch. They can talk about this situation, and they can talk about, and some of them really had financial difficulties, and some of them were really, you could see that they are really depressed. Yet the moment they were in the window, it was like a switch, and they just, it was like a little performance, you know.
Yeah.
And I found that so interesting, that the mood could suddenly change like that. And this is, you know, this is the message that the world should understand, you know, that this is almost also symbolic for me of the hard work behind, and then that part on stage looks effortlessly, and it looks as if there wasn't that hard work, you know. Yet we all know that there's a time frame between. But so yeah, for me, the windows, the stories in the windows are, there are so much to say about that, and there's so much, like you say, it's very symbolic, and I think it's symbolic from all over the world, that all the artists in London, everywhere, you know, they were all there in their windows, or at home. Yeah. But Anton, yeah. No,
I was just one shortly. I wanted to say shortly. I know what you mean. I've seen probably most of them, and I just wanted to say that it's probably because to be an artist is to you know, to give. It means to give.
Exactly.
Give away, everything you have, just
that,
from the open heart.
That was what I, right at the beginning, realized, you know, and I think that was, I think the money compensation was, of course, for many a problem, you know, because they didn't have the income. Yet there were many that did have enough to live, but I cannot tell you how many said things like, it's not just about the money, it's not about we can eat, but it's about they wanted to perform, they wanted to be on stage, they wanted to do this, and that I realized very early on that the main problem was that they wanted to be performing. They wanted the concerts to happen. They wanted to be on stage and do their thing. And I think if we really go and look at this time, I think it's this very strong urge in the artist to perform, and it's the thing that motivates them and keep them going, is that part of it's also the part that the practice, of course, but I think it's that highlight of being on stage and then performing. And yeah, I think even if they get all the money that they have to get, they will still have that need to perform,
Right. Yeah. Exactly. This is the most important thing, probably, is being on stage. For I can say from my perspective that being on stage is nothing. It's not a job. Of course, we get paid because we want to eat every day, right? But being on stage is a one for artists. This is one of the basic needs. This is a need, because we all have this. Every artist, I don't know, this is something inside us, generates this will, this need to be on the stage, to when we on the stage, we just give away everything we get, everything we have, and that's actually what makes us happy. This is I cannot tell you how I was just, oh, the first concert I got after the lockdown that happened in Ukraine with the orchestra, I was very much happy that all this, all those two concerts, that was, I cannot explain, I cannot describe how long I was waiting for. I mean, I was waiting for a year to perform. That's it's like, somebody is in the deserts, struggling after the being, no water, no nothing. Just this is, I could compare it with the.
I can now after all this, after this year of seeing this, from the artist, I can totally understand, and I think so many times of this, when I would so love to hear or to know how they felt when, the first time on stage, the first time back, because I'm so happy for everybody. Every time on Facebook, when I see somebody that I've photographed and they, they say something like, oh, there's a little concert or something, or even a streaming, online streaming, then I'm so happy for them, because I know how much they live for that, and waited for that. So
right. Yeah. This is, I'm very, I cannot say, I mean, I cannot wait, I cannot express myself how much I wait for the May 19th, when everything going to be open again. That
will be so amazing.
It's like desirable thing for all of us. Well, yesterday I've seen this posting in Facebook, the news actually, and I've seen and I received many yay. We're going back to life soon.
I'm so happy for you that happened, because it's well deserved. But Anton, is it all right if I post our conversation on YouTube?
Please.
Good,
please.
because
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm so glad that we at the end
Yes.
got the chance, yeah, to
Yeah,
talk.
that was very interesting, very interesting conversation. And of course, please post it, please use it, and yeah, everybody will hear my posh Russian accent. But
No, your English is so good. Your English is very good, yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah, so
yeah, please use it.
okay.
Yeah.
But something will come from this. I believe that, and I will definitely contact you when there's something happening. But there will be something happening in the schools.
Great. Yeah,
I believe
looking forward.
from Cloud 9, I report to you that there will be something happening.
Great. Thank you. All right.
Have a lovely afternoon.
The same for you.
And I hope when everything is open, we could grab a coffee one day and meet in person.
Absolutely. Maybe we can end up with some ideas.
Wonderful idea. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Or yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Thank you. That was a pleasure.
Okay, and it was lovely to talk to you too.
Likewise.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Ciao.
See you soon.
Bye.